This is a point that requires additional explanation because it's important for people to understand this, right? And I talk about this in my Red Pill series. Patriarchy is the system of male supremacy that says that men should have control of most of the wealth, men should be in charge of the home, men should be able to dictate the lives and movements of women. That is the system of rules. Misogyny is the enforcement arm. This is why men consistently say, oh, I love women, I would never do anything that harms a woman, blah, blah, blah. As long as that woman is following the rules. Because the misogyny only comes out when we stop following the rules, when we step outside of whatever the particular men in our vicinity or in our government or our family, whatever, think is the role we're supposed to play. That's when the misogyny comes out. A couple examples. When we leave a bad relationship. The most dangerous time in a relationship for a woman is when she tries to leave. When you break up with him, when you tell him you want a divorce, etc. When you exercise any form of independence or autonomy. A good example is having an abortion. Yeah, technically, at least we used to, have the right to do that. But when women actually do it, men get offended, sometimes even angry and violent. Negging. That's another example. When you get to a point in a relationship where, let's say, your career starts to improve, and this can happen even if your career doesn't surpass his. My ex would say things to me that I felt were said deliberately to make me feel bad, because consciously or unconsciously, he was trying to humble me a bit, I think. It seems like the more women grow and the more we come into our power, even though that power is not on a practical level, is not a threat to that man, he feels like it's a threat. He conceptualizes our improvement, our increase in autonomy as a threat. And then that's when the negging will start. Or something done to humble you because you're breaking the rules. That's the misogyny part. The typical man thinks a little something like this. Women's rights in general, they're fine with. They don't mind women dressing a certain way. They don't mind women getting ABs. They don't mind women being, successful in their jobs and their education or whatever. That's fine for women generally. They don't want their woman to do those things. So they're fine with women's autonomy as long as our autonomy doesn't interfere with their privilege. Make sense?